What's up? Welcome to the Being Beautifully Honest podcast and channel. Thanks for being here, being subbed. If you're not, hit the button, and if you're listening on YouTube, hit that like. It's like walking in the room and hitting that light switch. Let's brighten up the place and get into this beautifully honest reaction.
Talk to me nice, talk to me honestly. Look in my eyes, don't let it fall on me. Say you're a good guy, make me believe it. Don't wanna hear it, I wanna see it. See how rewind, when we rewind, feel so nice.
Fresh in, off the press. Did I lie? Did I not tell you them crackers was not finna get Jay-Z no damn casino in New York City? Did I not tell y'all that? This man done would've took a loan against his house because they wouldn't even give him a loan to go and put a bid in on the casino because he had the owner of Caesar's Palace and then he had an ex-federal informant and mob ties bitch down there trying to put a bid on a casino to bring it to Broadway, and them said in a 4-2 vote against him this.
We met the standard and then some, and the only one with courage to stand up is the governor and the mayor appointees, and everybody else runs and hides. Go run and hide. Because what you did, the benefits you denied this community and this city and state, you have to live with that history forever.
He done promised Jay-Z and Desiree Perez that they was finna get a casino. But there are two ex-drug dealers. Now, y'all can sit here and say, Tasha, Jay-Z got money. Jay-Z took the easy way in life by selling dope to his own community to get ahead. And if this is what you call the American dream, hey, so be it. If this is what you call noble, all because he's married to Beyonce and he's a billionaire, how many lives did he have to take to become a billionaire? Moving on.
Man, look, y'all can say what y'all want to say about Tasha K, but definitely when it comes to what she said with this Jay-Z casino deal situation and all that other stuff, I have to 100% agree with her. And especially when it comes to the Black community, and I don't know what it is. I guess it's the aspirational wealth thought that a lot of Black people have, that if they, you hear a lot of times, oh, you don't speak negatively about someone that's successful because if you want to be successful, then you shouldn't speak negatively about them. There's a difference in just speaking about facts versus just genuine hatred and jealousy towards someone's success. And the truth is that, yeah, Jay-Z, he admittedly sold drugs back in the day, even though it was many years ago. He admittedly did those things and he glorified it in his music. And now, the way he's making his money, continue to, make his money and be in a position of being labeled a billionaire, which in my personal opinion, because there's only like a few Black ones, for the few Black billionaires that they are, I really don't believe that they're doing enough for the African American community. And I'm not saying that they should sacrifice themselves completely and wholeheartedly to the point that they have nothing in order to save others. That's not what I'm saying, but I do believe that they could do a whole lot more. Because let's be clear, the Black people in this nation are never going to get reparations. They're not going to do it. And for the people who didn't vote for Kamala Harris saying, oh, she ain't going to do nothing specifically for the Black community, did you believe 45/47 was going to? But the reason why I even brought that up is because I do feel that for those who have gotten into the positions that they've gotten to, some, yeah, because of hard work, but others, like Jay-Z, because of favors and other things, and just my personal opinion, connections, not just all based off of talent, because I don't believe he became a billionaire because of the music. Has anyone really become a billionaire just solely off of being an artist? No. And, his connection to his wife and the partnerships and collaborations that they have. But I'm saying all of that to say, Tasha K, she made like a really great point. And I really have a huge issue when I see them pushing gambling and liquor. I talked about it with Shannon Sharp on his Club Shay Shay podcast. when he did have the sponsors that he did have before he made that chick a multi-millionaire, where she was able to retire from OnlyFans, and then she said, call me boss. She's the boss bitch now. But I'm saying all of that to say he was promoting gambling and liquor. And then you have Jay-Z now, he wanted to get this casino established in this community and talking about the opportunities that it was going to bring, like, really some more jobs. And those people are not going to become wealthy off of working in a casino. And unfortunately, it was probably going to bring a whole lot more issues where people were getting addicted if they were not already addicted to some sort of vice, getting addicted to gambling, losing money that they really don't have to have the hopes of maybe hitting it big. And we know most people don't do that. And then I've seen the stories about, which again, free to do what you want to do with your money. I guess it's your money. But yeah, I saw the stories about he and Beyonce, they're going to be buying a home somewhere out in the UK somewhere. So it's like they have the money to be able to escape the issues of this nation. Whereas a lot of us, we really just have to go through it. Grin and bear it. Pray and take it. And hope for a better day. And then you want to be able to put a casino in the community somewhere in New York so it could cause issues in other people's lives where they really don't need that. So yeah, I am glad that they shut it down, but Tasha had been saying for a while now that they were not going to let that deal happen, and then it finally became official and she just came out and said, I told you so. So you guys let me know what you think about it, and also let me know what you think about Jay-Z and Beyonce being seated at the table with the Trumps and the Kushners, because this ultimately really is who they are, guys. I don't know why anybody was really surprised by that, because yeah, I heard that Beyonce got paid to be at the Harris convention that she had when she, I guess, endorsed Kamala Harris. But at any rate, it is not surprising. It's not shocking, because overall, they care about their pockets over the people. And that's it. They're capitalists. And as long as you guys buy those tickets to go see Beyonce on her tours, because I believe the woman is tired of touring, to be honest with you, and tired of performing. Not saying she doesn't still have a love for performing because it's in her blood. But you get to a certain point in a certain age where it's just like, man, I just want to sit down. Okay? But you anyway, just let me know what you think in the comments about this, guys, because I am not shocked by this, and I'm actually happy that it didn't go through, because they don't need that there. Do something else besides gambling and liquor. That's what I'm saying. My God.
Porsha, speaking of going outside the U.S., she went outside the U.S. and got somebody's husband. I told y'all Porsha couldn't afford that house. Told y'all Porsha's salary wasn't making it do what it do. I have friends that have ridden past that house on Paces Ferry, and they say it is unkept. So, and it's mighty funny, after I got this report back, she puts out a video trying to make light of the situation that you demanded to keep a $12 million house that you could not afford, that was on your husband's salary. However, he got that salary, but he did put you on the deed just because you were the wife. All you said was he could be scamming, he could be scamming. And I'm like, well, why would you want to live in a scammer's house? Why would you want to live off of the scammer's money? What if they come and take the house back if he was quote unquote scamming? But it's hard to buy a $12 million house scamming. There's a lot of paperwork you got to go through to get this type of house, to even get a bank involved to give you a mortgage on it, okay? And so now she has it on a Real Housewives of Atlanta salary, which is like $2 million a year. She gives her agent about $400,000 to $500,000 of that. Taxes, state and federal taxes in Georgia, half of that. She making like $500,000 a year plus extra gigs that she gets. And if she has a few products, Porsha living paycheck to paycheck. Now I know it's a lot of y'all that are trying to make sense of this, but when she has such an expensive lifestyle, this is what happens. And so now I told y'all that Simon wasn't finna help pay these bills. He's actually forcing her to sell the house by allowing his lawyers to lien the house, and so now they're gonna force her to sell this house in order to pay him, and then guess what? He gets his equity that he paid for when he bought the house. she'll get a little bit. But she owes lawyers as well. But look at her taking a look at the video. They can hear me, right? When all the legal fees is tied up, she got to do the landscaping. You know how big that property is? Even Jasmine said watching the show, the baseboards ain't clean because it takes a certain type of maid service to come in there and clean that. You got to get in the crack and crevices of a huge house like that. It's 13,000 square feet. All because she's trying to show out on TV. I would have been downsizing and got my equity out the house because she thought that another married man was going to marry her. Porsha running around here trying to clean, looking like she can't even clean her ass properly. I told you, Simon said, check my story. And so we pulled the story. A deed is a legal instrument that transfers ownership or rights in real property, such as land or buildings, from one party to another. Remains subject to any existing liens or encumbrances. If I paid my attorney to resolve matters, but instead I ended up in deeper debt, they're fired. Blind leading the blind. And I'm trying to say this delicately, Simon, I just don't understand why she's struggling like this, because men like you are easy lick. You older. I'm not saying you got ED or anything, but it's not working like it was working in his 20s. So it ain't like she got to hop on it every day. He's a businessman around other businessmen, and one thing that they do in order to measure the size of their dick, not their wallets, is they have to have someone who looks like they're impossible to get. Even though Atlanta done had Porsha, okay? She couldn't stick it out long enough at the time. Ooh, boy, I would have rolled you into retirement. Boy, I'm telling you. And it wouldn't have been much riding. This man just like to smoke cigars, eat in fancy restaurants, have a companion. That's it. He sleep by 8:30. Moving on, though.
So let me tell you something, and this is what I've been saying all along. If Simon was so much of a scammer, how did he get the house? And he didn't buy the house outright in cash. He put a lot of money down, and it was a bank loan. So if he was so much of a scammer, how did he get a home through a bank loan, okay? And two, if he's a scammer, why would you want to be in the scammer's house? And three, if he was a scammer, why didn't the United States of America confiscate that home? No. They gave her the right to continue to live in the home for another period of time. And once that time is up, she'd sell the house, and then whatever equity there is, she would get that portion and he would get his portion. And it really doesn't look like it's going to be any portion because of all of the liens. And you know, now things are going unkempt, and she, just for the sake of saying I got this house, she wants to stay in it for as long as possible. So she's doing videos of her sweeping around the pool area and the front door and shaking off the welcome mat and the cushions on the couch in the back or whatever. It's just ridiculous, all for the sake of the appearances, keeping up appearances and keeping up with the Joneses, to say that she has something that she really doesn't have. She's living on borrowed time. But, you know, maintenance, it costs a good penny anyway. And so for a home that size, I cannot even imagine what it costs just for the upkeep. And Tasha K, she said she knows people who are in the area, and when they pass by, they say it looks a hot mess on the outside. And I don't think she's lying about that. You know, and for the neighborhood, I'm not saying that she's got cars parked on the grass in the front lawn and, you know, like a typical neighborhood without an HOA sort of look. I'm not saying that it looks like that, but I'm talking about in comparison to the other neighbors' homes. Hers, people probably can spot it and say, yeah, they're having some financial issues over there. And that looks embarrassing anyway. Especially when you live in a certain area, when they already look at you like, what are you doing over here? Now, I'm not saying Porsha is broke, but she can't afford that. She can't afford that and the home that she already has, that she has on the market, that she has not sold yet. But it's her life. She's free to live it how she wants to live it, but she's a public figure, and all the stuff that's out there, when it comes out, we're going to talk about it. So yeah, Tasha K was talking about it. I wanted to share what she had to say about it because I thought it was hilarious. And I 100% agree, because I just can't get over the fact that she said she filed for divorce from him because she just thought things just weren't making sense, and she was asking questions and he wasn't answering the questions that she needed answered. And then she went and filed for divorce, and he said he sent her a text message and she wouldn't respond. He sent another text message. She wouldn't respond to that one. Sent more messages. Just kept going on red but not responding. So then he finally was like, oh, okay, you want to play? Let's play. And now that's what he's doing. He's playing. And although some people are like, man, go have fun in Dubai and leave us alone, I'm here for the entertainment of it all, because it really didn't have to be this way. Because if she just had a conversation with the man, I'm not saying she would have stayed with him longer, or definitely not saying that she would have stayed with him forever. But ultimately, people have to admit, even though he was deported, a scammer, the scammer thing that most people were talking about when they gave him that moniker, it was regarding money. And if he was a scammer, he would not have been able to get that home through a bank, and she wouldn't be staying in it right now. That would have been confiscated if he was a scammer and he got it through illegal means and scamming purposes. So you really can't use that label on him much anymore. There are plenty of people that were in this country that have gotten deported, but it doesn't mean that they were a scammer in the way that a lot of people have tried to label them. It just meant they never got their citizenship, and some may have tried and they were not able to get it, but it doesn't mean that they're a scammer. Can't deny that he doesn't have the money. He just said, when it comes to Porsha, I ain't got it. Okay, so you guys let me know what you think in the comments. Thanks for being here, liking, and subscribing. I'm Beth, just being beautifully honest. So until next time, I wanted to keep it brief, beautiful, and now I'm going to say bye.